In northeastern Italy, nestled between the Adriatic Sea and the Carnic Alps, is a city with rich history, stunning views, and a football team that just can't seem to fulfill its potential. Welcome to Udine. Time for a quick history lesson. Italy is made up of 20 separate regions, a bit like counties in the UK. Unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, there isn't an Italian version of Yorkshire, but luckily this also means there isn't an Italian version of Lancashire. Swings and roundabouts, really. Udine is part of the Friuli Venezia Giulia region, a part of the country that borders Austria to the north and Slovenia to the east. Historically, the city was a major economic hub known for its trade, somewhere Romans would go and buy whatever was on their Roman shopping lists. But despite being old, and I mean old, the first record of the city was in AD 983, no one actually knows where the name comes from. But some people think that the root of the name Oud is related to the word Udder, which figuratively means hill. Thanks Wikipedia. Oh yeah, this city has a castle on a hill. Anyway, among other things, the city is now known as the home of Udinese Calcio, a Serie A football team with a largely uninspiring history. They're also known as Le Zebrette, meaning the little zebras, which is just adorable, really. In the last 20 years, Udinese have had 3 Champions League campaigns, reaching the group stage in the 2005-2006 season, but missing out in the playoff rounds in 2011 and 2012. The club has never won Serie A, nor has it ever won the Coppa Italia, the Italian version of the FA Cup. Actually, Udinese has never, in its 113-year history, won Serie B either. They have won Serie C, but come on. Arguably, Udinese's biggest achievement is the fact that since 1995, the club hasn't been relegated from Serie A. They've mostly just floated around mid-table. So, let's see if that can change. Welcome to the channel. My name is Tom, and this handsome chap just walking into frame is Tomasso Ricci. Some people will say that he's just a better looking coiffured Italian version of myself with a name that sounds suspiciously like mine. But other, more cultured people when it comes to football will know that he is the next big thing in football management. And breaking news, he has just been announced as Udinese manager. And before we get going properly, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you're new to the channel, and I presume you are new to the channel because this is the first video on the channel, I'll be a bit concerned if you've been here before. Please like, subscribe, comment. It feels a bit cringy asking you, but every little helps. And the other thing to mention is the settings we will be playing on. So we have it on world-class 4-minute halves, simulation settings with low wind effects. So I've played it before where I've had medium wind effects, and even then the ball sometimes has been like a penny floater on the beach. Weather effects are on. And the other big thing worth mentioning is the fact that we have strict transfer approaches. And also I have turned searching for players off. I'm a big Football Manager fan, and I really like the idea that our recruitment should only be as good as our recruitment team. So it's up to them to find the players that we need to take this club forward. So here we are. Here is the squad that we will be dealing with. I'll be honest, I did research into the market history of Udine, but apparently nothing into the actual squad of the football team at the moment. They're assembled at the moment. Obviously, I want to kind of play around with the tactics, but we've got a 5-3-2 going on, which I don't hate. That's quite narrow, though, is my only thing I would say at the moment. Got Luca, Talvin, Piero, Karlstrom, Lovrich, Kamara, Gianetti, Biol, Christensen, and Ezibue, and Ochoy in net. Just looking around, we've got I'd call it a decent kind of combination of kind of experience and youth. But there isn't one player really that's standing out there that looks like they're amazing. Tarvin, obviously 31 years old. His pace is 69, which that's not great. I guess that's all right if we're getting crosses into the box, but I think we need to go a bit more narrow, a bit more attacking with this 5 at the back. And even, I mean, Luke is 23, but his pace is 61, which is, in fact, just throughout this team. I mean, 88 of Ezibue. And 82 on that. So it really is down those flanks, isn't it, that we've got the pace, but nowhere else on the pitch. Brenner, Ecklenkamp, Zaraga, Cabasele, Torre, Zimura, Sava, Davis, and Bravo. Have we got another striker? So Brenner is obviously the backup striker along with Davis. It'd be interesting to see which of those is the kind of more natural backup. They may even compete, of course, for the starting 11. And then in the reserve, Padelli, Abanqua, Ebos, Soleil, and Modesto, Atta, Pafundia, and Pizarro. And Hello. What's he doing down there? Hiding like a little Easter egg. Alexis Sanchez is here. I had no idea where he had gone. That's fun. Why is he hidden away? It's like a little Easter egg down there. I mean, how old is he now? He's 35. He's still got more pace than our current strikers though. Shooting 71, passing, dribbling. He's got to play, hasn't he? So before getting stuck into the transfer market, Tomasso Ricci decided that first of all, what he needed to do was to set out his plan for Ricci Ball and what that's going to look like, and then from there can figure out the players that we need to get in to make the system work better. So we've got a 4-2-2-2. Did I say enough twos? 4-2-2-2. Abandoned the 5 at the back. It doesn't feel very Italian going for 4 at the back as opposed to 5 at the back, but that's what's happening in Tomasso Ricci land. 2 CDMs, the cams, and then Alexis Sanchez as a false 9, so hopefully dropping it into this hole. This is how it lines up. We lined up at the start of the game, but with the ball, it starts to look a bit like this. I'm trying to make the most of the pace that we've got down the wings with these attacking wing backs without much pace anywhere else. Lovric dropping back into the kind of centre back role, hopefully giving these guys a bit more room to kind of spread out if we do decide to play out from the back. But I think we've got a bit more width. Hopefully Sanchez, I want to be dropping into this hole in between the two cams. I don't know if it will work like that. We will see when we start playing. I dare say we will have to end up tweaking it a little bit. But I'm fairly happy with that. I do think still centre-backs are kind of a bit of a weak area. And then if we're looking at the actual ratings that we've got for our midfielders, 73, 74, Lovric, I mean, Karlstrom is the better defender, but only by 1. I would really like some kind of enforcer in the middle of midfield to really break up the play. So that might be one of the first things that we set our scouts out to find. And just quickly before we move on, one more thing that escaped me somehow before. He might not be very fast, but good God, Luca is a giant. 6'7". He's massive. He's an absolutely massive lump of a man. And so we can forgive him for his lack of pace. He's got to be in the starting lineup, hasn't he? Especially if we've got these attacking wing backs going out wide to try and get some crosses in. Luca needs to be there. He's a giant. He's massive. Just quickly checking the objectives and what the board expect from us this season. And to be honest, this says it all about Udinese, doesn't it? We said in the intro how they were the masters of finishing mid-table in the Serie A, and apparently that's all the board care about. That's all they want us to do, finish mid-table and reach the round of 16 in the Coppa Italia. We do have some goals for youth development and brand exposure, but they're not very important. Get a streak of 5 home wins in matches this season, and financially, make some money from shirt sales. The main thing really is finishing mid-table, but I think we can do better than that. And on that note, Tomasso Ricci has had his scouts in a meeting for a little while, and they've now been sent away with very, very specific instructions about what we want to find. So we have new instructions for the scouts. First of all, any position between the ages of 16 and 24, any player who's a world-class prospect. We want to get those players in young, whether they're good enough for the team now or we can sell them on later for a bit of money. We mentioned it, the defensive midfielders. We need to get some physical defensive midfielders in there with real quality to break up the play. And also, I did hint at it before, I'm really not happy with the state of the passing attributes of the centre-backs that we have. So looking for a ball-playing defender who can just slot right into the team, which will probably also mean that we have some exits. We have looked at the budget as well, and it's not amazing. Where is it now? Here we are. Everything's in dollars. I might need to change that if I can do. I didn't mean to put everything in dollars, but 13 million. So that's what, 10 million pounds. It's not much. So I think we will need to try and raise some funds by getting some players out of the building. Well, we said there would be exits, and here is the first of the window. Saraga is on his way. 2.75 million we have got for him. And he wasn't the kind of player that we necessarily needed. That money can be better spent elsewhere. Here we go. Zoraga goes to Stade Restoir for 2.75. It's a bad negotiation, though. I could have got more money for him. And money, 1.1 million more pounds. I've changed it, by the way. It would just have annoyed me endlessly if we were stuck in dollars. So I had to restart the save, but everything's the same as it was. Money is in short supply at Udinese, and we could have done with that. So that's not ideal, but the budget should now be about just over £12.5 million. So just over a week has passed, and we have just accepted our invitation to the pre-season tournament. We accepted the more lucrative of the three options available to us, and looking at the teams we've been drawn against, I think it was a good choice. Palermo, Alaves and Ipswich, I think those are all kind of beatable teams, if you will. I don't think we'll be playing those games, not on stream anyway, but that is not the big news. And that's because the big news is we've had more outgoings. You obviously saw Oyo Zoraga head out the door before, 2.8 million. But we've also had Enzo Abose, Christian Kabasele, James Abankwah and Keenan Davis head out of the door, giving us a slightly healthier looking budget now, which I believe is around the £19 million mark. There we go, £19 million. And you know what? It's just as well we've got a bit more money now, because it is 8 days until the season begins and we still have not made a signing. The pre-season tournament is over. We didn't win it, but it had some good results along the way. And it is time, finally, I think, to do some business in this transfer window. We've been looking at a lot of players. We've had a lot of players on our radar, not all of them quite up to scratch, but one player that has really stood out is Lucas Toro from Osasuna. We said we wanted a CDM who could tackle. It's got 75 defending, 75 physical. Decent stamina and strength, but he can also play a pass. And for what looks like, I mean, he's worth £7.5 million, so he's well in budget. I think that could be an absolute steal for us and could solve the problems that we might have in midfield. And here is Lucas Toro through the building. We've got him on a £35,000 per week wage. He wanted to be a crucial player. He will be a crucial player. The only problem is he did really want 3 years on his deal. And at the age of 30, that will obviously take him to the age of 33, if not 34. So that's not ideal. However, I mean, we've got to change. He can't be number 13, can he? And he looks great in the kit as well. So yeah, nice strip from Udinese that. But he's a player that I definitely think will help us move forward, and it's just in time because there's not long until the season starts. Unfortunately, though, we haven't had the same luck when it comes to finding a centre-back. We wanted someone who could pass the ball, and we've looked at quite a few players, and none of them are really up to scratch in that regard, and none of them really would improve on the defensive qualities we've got either. Rasmus Nicholson looks okay, 76 rated, and I think is decent value at 7 million. But still, we've got better. Moise Bombito looked interesting. We still haven't properly scouted him. But he only looks interesting because he'd had a bit of pace to defence, which is something we don't necessarily have. But even then, I mean, his defending overall stat is a maximum of 73. And that's just not quite good enough. I would rather wait and get the right player in, especially when we don't have much money, even if that means waiting until January, because it might be a marathon, not a sprint, this save. And I'm not really sure we're going to get the world beater centre defender, ball playing centre defender in that we want to in this window. But we'll keep an eye out and see what we can find. Well, just like that, ask and you shall receive. Lucas Martinez Quarta looks like he could be our man. His passing is only 69, but I think that's still an improvement on what we've got. But 78 rated with a market value of 11.5 million. He looks like he could definitely add to our defence. He can play as a ball playing defender. He's got decent jumping, decent strength. He's highly aggressive. Hopefully it doesn't cause too many issues in the dressing room. But okay ball control. His heading accuracy hopefully gives a bit more of a threat from corners as well, and he can obviously put a tackle in. We're going to go for him. We've probably got about the same money left as his market value. So I'm going to try and slightly lowball them here. Yeah, our budget is just below his market value. But we can see if they will take 9.5. Is that cheeky? Are they going to get angry with me? Could we agree on that? How about 15.2? How about no? Frankly, we cannot afford it. Goodbye. Oh, that's a shame. It is also the first day of the season today. So that was some proper last minute business we were trying to get done. But it is time now to head to our first game. We are away at Bologna to start this first season in Serie A with Udinese. It's a shame we couldn't get that final bit of business done before the first game of the season, but we do have the one new signing starting in centre midfield. We do have Lucas Toro, and it's very, very exciting, isn't it? It's also our first opportunity to see how we get on with this tactical system. It's the first time, obviously, we've played with it, and we could expose some issues with it. This is a blank slate for us, and so if we're setting goals for ourselves, I'm going to have to say we probably just want a solid performance, nothing too flashy. That's some nice play around the corner, and Kamara has space to run into, and there we've got our massive 6'7" man in the box, but it's a bad cross and headed away, but we can still claim the ball. Karlstrom does a decent job to mop up and out to Etsibwe, who's got another chance to cross for us, and it's going to be snaffled by the keeper. And so far, 15 minutes in, we're doing a decent job of containing them. I might put the match halves up to, I say we're doing a decent job of containing them. They've got a corner. I might put the match halves up to 5 minutes, just for, 4 minutes I think is a little bit short. We're defending this corner poorly already. We just managed to dive in and get the ball back. That's Eckenkamp, who's coming away with it now. And a bit of a risky pass to Toro, the new man in the yellow Udinese away shirt. Kamara on the wing out wide. Pass it back to Piero. And a bit of a 1-2. Give him space to run into for Kamara. Can he pass it back? And it's corner. We'll take that. Go for an in-swinging corner into the box. We've met it, and we've got another chance. Another go at the shy. Sanchez again whipping it in. It's got more pace on it this time. Soleil can't get to it, and it's headed away by Bologna. But Etsibwe on the wing, and he's got a chance to get it in again. Luca can't quite get to it. Can't get his massive frame in the way of the ball. Is blocked off by a defender. Can we play it over the top to Kamara? Is that offside? I think he might have stayed on. Another cross, and I thought there was a lot of power on the cross, but there's even more power on the chest from Etsibwe. But he's got the ball, and now he's lost it again. It's all a bit messy for both teams at the moment. We could be in trouble here. Bologna have got the ball down the left flank. Just pops it into the channel, and we've got to really concentrate here. And Etsibwe does a great job, and he does a great job again. We're now on our way. Can we trigger a run on the outside? We do. It's Eckenkamp. He doesn't have much pace, but he does have the ball, and he's got support arriving for the cross into the box. He has been taken out, and that, please sir, give him a yellow card. My man has been murdered. And Juan Miranda does get the yellow card, thankfully. I didn't mean to lump it up that high. Look, got to it. And it's a very good save from the keeper in the end. The bouncing header, head into the ground. It's dangerous. And he just managed to tip it over the bar. That would have been an interesting first goal. Outswinger this time from Alexis Sanchez into the middle. Luca reaches the ball again, uses his height to good effect, but he can't get good contact, and it is over the bar. Oh, this man's returning at half-time with some chips for his friend. And we're ready to go out again. No changes. Just we're still kind of feeling out the way the system plays. I think both teams have been... It's felt very much like a first game of the season, hasn't it? No real fluidity to any of it. I say as Bologna release Miranda down the wing. And I dive in with Eckenkamp. Can't quite make the tackle, but we do make a tackle now, and they have a corner. Oh no, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Great save from the keeper, but they've got the rebound and they've put it... We're not playing incredibly well, but I still would feel a little bit aggrieved if we lost the game, just based on the possession that we've had. Definitely seen more of the ball than Bologna. One thing I am noticing with this system is it's difficult to find a pass into the midfield. I think because we've almost got players stacked on top of each other in the midfield, and there aren't many options to pass forward. But we do have quite a few players once established in possession. We've got quite a few players in their half. We've got a nice line of 4 there. There's possibly some tweaking that we need to do. And it might be time, 65 minutes gone, to start looking at some substitutions. So yeah, no one's really used much energy, but we definitely need to mix things up a little bit. As expected, these wing backs are getting quite tired because they're doing quite a bit of running. We do have Modesto, who I believe can also play right back. He's not highly rated, but he does have a decent bit of pace that we're going to stick on there. And also, I mean, it's time for someone to make themselves a star, isn't it? Profundi, age 18, get you on for Eklenkamp and see if you can do anything more exciting. What a tackle that is. And Eklenkamp is so slow. He is so slow. Haven't managed to make the substitutions yet. Oh, but I can't wait until we do, because Eklenkamp will be off the pitch. Now, Profundi, the substitute, is on, and the 18-year-old has a chance to cross the ball now. He finds Luca. Does he? No, he's punched right at the keeper. He was offside anyway. Of course, though, we need to be careful not to get robbed at the death. 85 minutes gone, and I mean, that typifies the whole game, to be honest. There's been absolutely nothing in it for either team. And I won't be surprised if that's the last chance that either team has. I say, as we manage to spread it out wide to Modesto, also newly on the pitch. Can he stretch his legs? He can, but so far no one really joining him up in the attacking third. Sanchez, can he shoot? He does, and it's a corner right at the end of the match, 90th minute, and it's an opportunity for us to snatch the win here. Of course, aiming towards Luca again. It would be silly not to. And it's Solé. Oh, you don't want your centre-back in that situation, do you? And they're going to clear it, and I think that's going to be the end of the game. It is 0-0. We'll end today's episode there. If you've enjoyed it, please do comment, subscribe, like it, and we'll be back later in the week to pick up and play the next few games of this series.